There is more to me than meets the eye. We can see inside every individual that our very essence is shaped by the world around us. Our cultural identity is by the very definition our culture. My name is Thomas Bruin, and my culture is from Mexican American descent. I have a small family, with me being the eldest of 3. Both of my sets of grandparents originate from Mexico. From my mom's side, they come from Durango, and from my father's, Zacatecas. I couldn't imagine a day where who I am is not constantly evolving and changing by the environment around me. My culture is shaped by the values of becoming successful. I feel that it is important that everyone's opinion is heard, regardless of whether or not you agree with their opinion. It must be heard in order to better understand the world around you. I speak English more fluently than Spanish, and the reason I speak so little Spanish stems from the environment my parents grew up in and raised me in. Trying to assimilate, they grew comfortable speaking more English than Spanish on a daily basis, and they chose to speak to me in English. This doesn't stop me from communicating with my grandparents in Spanish though, who have taught me the little Spanish that I know. I feel a certain level of responsibility in making sure I'm presentable and respectful to everyone I encounter. My attitude reflects my culture, and I don't want to give a sour opinion to anyone who's interested in learning about my Mexican heritage. I know I find a lot of pleasure in celebrating Cinco de Mayo, when in 1862, Mexican military soldiers had victory over the French. I take on the mentality of my parents by dressing to impress those around me, and come off as the hard worker I am by wearing a freshly ironed button-up shirt, but not too fancy, with some thrashed and beat-up Vans. Growing up, I spent every Sunday going to Catholic church. I found it extremely boring and grew to resent it. My parents identify as Catholic, but now that I am older, I tend to not really identify as a religious individual. Something that does catch my attention is the amazing guitar riffs from classical rock. I can listen to it for hours because who doesn't love music? My family enjoys tamales so much that around Christmas time we all gather at my grandparents' house and dedicate a whole day to making them. I'm always on the hunt for trying new foods to increase my exposure to different cultures and add them to my cultural identity. Although I love Mexican food, I can never get enough of Japanese food, primarily sushi. My favorite is an unagi roll, which is a freshwater eel roll. I don't limit myself to just trying new foods. I also try the traditions of my friends and expose them to the ones that I'm most familiar with, like the Day of the Dead, when we celebrate the dead by remembering them and praying for them. My economic class is what motivates me the most by fueling my ambitions for a better life. Growing up, I didn't have a lot, and the things I had, I valued greatly. The life my parents have worked tirelessly to provide for me is something I'm especially grateful for. I want to give back to my community and help those around me succeed, despite the fact I know we cannot all be successful in the eyes of the world, but a sense of success in ourselves is what is most important. Thank you.